Ladies and gentlemen, may I direct your attention to something quite extraordinary.
You are listening to
Kayak Adventure Series.
Kayak Adventure Series. This is where you choose your own adventure. You want to be offshore, you want to be shallow, you want to go up the
You want
creek,
to have a kayak that is sophisticated,
or a kayak that is simple.
you get to choose your own adventure.
Oh, looky there. That's a micro bag. I hope you brought the family. This is going to be wild. Hey, this adventure is going to be amazing.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I direct your attention to something quite extraordinary.
You are listening to
Kayak Adventure Series.
Kayak Adventure Series. This is where you choose your own adventure. You want to be offshore, you want to be shallow, you want to go up the
You
creek,
want to have a kayak that is sophisticated,
or a kayak that is simple.
you get to choose your own adventure.
Oh, looky there. That's a micro bag. I hope you brought the family. This is going to be wild. Hey, this adventure is going to be amazing.
All right, what's going on, everybody? What's going on? What's up, Jake?
Nothing. Just got back from muskie fishing. I got the proof.
Yes,
Jacked up
there will
pretty
always
bad.
be proof. Always be proof for the muskie fishing. Yeah, for sure. Well, I'd love to hear more about this story, and one day we will. But, dude, we've got a big show. As you know, we put it out there that today is the official Ocalapalooza preview show. Got loads of guests. It's live. We let that intro and that schedule run a couple times to start building, get more people live here. And you guys are starting to join. So thanks for showing up here on the show today. Got a lot of exciting stuff, a lot of big announcements. And there's the link right there. Jake's got it up. kayakadventureseries.com/Ocalapalooza. And I guess we just need to get right into the big announcements, first of all, before we get into the rest of the show, because we have some schedule changes and updates. And we never do any changes to the schedule unless it's a really, really obviously going to benefit the anglers in some way, form, or fashion and be better for everyone. And what we've done, we're going to pull that schedule back up.
And we didn't make these changes lightly either. We
No.
we really deliberated over some of these. In fact, I was on the fence on some of them, and it took some convincing.
We did. And I'm going to explain the three changes. Two of them are fairly significant. Let's pull it up right here. So, and then we'll get into our guests. You'll notice now there's one extra event. What? There used to be 6 on the schedule. Now there's 7. What's going on? We did have August Open, and with
Correct.
the national, unfortunately there is no Hobie BOS this year. Like I've said on a podcast last night, hopefully they come back bigger and better and stronger than ever. But there is no Bassmaster going to the Susquehanna River as well. And we actually decided we had that month open, and we heard the anglers saying how much they would love to have an event over there. So we decided to put a $10,000 GoPro guarantee on the August 8th and 9th date for the Susky 5 Slamma-Jamma in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania, based out of Bloomsburg. And you'll be fishing the north, the west, and the main stem branch to the south as well. So a lot of water people have fished before. A lot of water people haven't. But Susky 5 Slamma-Jamma, we'll get into it later on that preview show. It's good. It pays homage to the 5 Slamma-Jamma basketball team, Clyde Drexler, Hakeem Olajuwon. They were action-packed. They were fast-paced, slam dunks, alley-oops, all, describe the Susquehanna River smallmouth, correct? I mean, power, action, fast pace. So we thought, what a better name to name it the Susky 5 Slamma-Jamma, since there's 5 basketball players on the court at one time, and the starters, and then 5 fish on our stringers. So that'll be a fun one. And we got the fairgrounds reserved there, so we can all camp at the same place. Electric hookups, water hookups. We kind of reserved the fairgrounds. And shout out to John Ost, John Toast Ost, for contacting us several weeks ago about that area, wanting an event. And we were going to do it in 26 or 27, but based on the schedules that came out this year, it just kind of made sense to slide the extra event in there. So what do you think about that, Jake?
I think it'll be good. I know when you first asked me about it, I was like, yeah, why not? Like, Susquehanna's arguably the most popular, destination for a lot of people.
Absolutely.
And I think that the river fish is great in early August, July. Like, I've been there 4 times now, and 2 of the times were in the summer, and it was great.
Yeah.
Like, I think people are going to have fun. I mean, you can get out, you can wade in the water, you can throw top water all day.
Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing. It's great fish where you got Vinny in there. The Power Hour goes there seemingly every year. So their schedule's not out yet. So you never know. Hang tight. I just noticed they got a podcast where they're going to reveal it coming up soon, I believe on KBN. So you guys can check that out. Shout out to Vinny and the Queen City crew. So who knows? But anyway, we will be there. There's definitely more to come on that event, which we'll talk about on that preview show. But today's about Ocalapalooza. So let's quickly just mention the other big change you're noticing up here. If you're looking at the Paris, Texas event, the Paris Reel Fest, we moved it from March 29th weekend, whatever that is, 28th, 29th, whatever it was, up to the Bassmaster Classic weekend. And here's why we've done this, for a couple reasons. We want to continue to work and deconflict from any other major tournaments out there. Texas Bass Nation had an event going on Lake Caddo at the same weekend, which was going to hurt both of our events. So, their tourism department couldn't move it. And I think it's also a joint event with like maybe East Texas and North Texas, a big event. And we went to our tourism contact, and they said, man, we'd move it. We just want the best and the most opportunities for the anglers. So the anglers who are already in Texas fishing the Bassmaster Championship can roll right into the Paris Reel Fest, because that ends, as you know, Jake, you'll be there with me fishing that. That ends on Thursday. So Friday and Saturday would kind of be a couple of days that you could pre-fish and then roll into a one-day shootout, Texas style, right? One-day shootout on March the 23rd, that Sunday. And that's still $10,000 GoPro guarantee. Then you can still fish that North Texas, the Bass Nation event on Caddo that next weekend on the 29th. So 3 incredible, huge events in Texas. Everything's bigger and better in Texas, so that makes sense. Plus, the Bassmaster Classic is there. And if you have to be at the Classic on Friday and on that stage, or if you're not in the Bassmaster Championship, which obviously only 150-ish people probably are going to be in that tournament that qualified, that will attend, and you just want to experience the Bassmaster Classic, show up and support, the kayak anglers on, Friday at the awards on stage, and then, pre-fish that Thursday or that Saturday for the Paris Reel Fest. And you can also fish an event yourself, since you won't be obviously qualified for that championship. So that's the update on the Paris Reel Fest moving. And then the last small change, and then we're going to get right into it. The name has changed. July 11th and 12th is now called the Mississippi Bronze Quest. Nothing has changed except the name, so there's not a lot to talk about there. But there's kind of a funny reason. It's a long story why we had to change it, but it's actually going to be presented by Ashegan as well. So if you go on the website, it already says that. That's a Mississippi Bronze Quest presented by Ashegan, or we could call it Ashegan's Mississippi Bronze Quest. Every year we'll have a signature smallmouth event that will be sponsored by Ashegan. So they are the official brand of the smallmouth bass, so they will sponsor our signature series smallmouth event. So that's it. That's the changes. And I see you guys in the comments talking. Sounds like some good changes, some good responses. So thanks for being here, everybody. And let's pull that graphic down and get on to the rest of the show. Thanks for moving me to the corner, Jake. That was helpful. I was kind of hidden back there. So let's bring on the what our first guest here. If you go on the website, which we'll pull that up, and you'll see we already have the kayak manufacturer that's presenting sponsor. Unless Brian Day is in here. I don't see Brian yet from the city of Ocala. So we'll bring in Blake first. Blake Young from Nukanoo. What's up, Blake? You're muted at the moment, but or maybe you could unmute yourself.
I can do it, I think. Hold on. Nope.
All right, we're unmuted. How are you doing, Drew? Jake?
Good, buddy. What's up,
Good.
man?
Oh, just winding down the air, man. Hard to believe it's that time, but it goes fast.
It does go fast. And with big events, you got to start kind of early, right? People are planning their vacation, their schedules now, which is why we don't take those changes lightly, because someone may have already scheduled a vacation off for that weekend, but it is going to be better for everyone overall to make those changes. Well, no one's going to complain about adding the Susky, that's for sure, because that wasn't on there. But New Canoe, man, you guys are back on board. You were the presenting sponsor at Whitehall last year, which is an incredible event. Our Angler of the Year, Ryan Parker, won that event. And it was just such a blast with Steve up there at Water Dog Outfitters. But now you were going to be just kicking things off with Ocalapalooza. And we kind of figured this would be a good event for you guys to donate a kayak and be there and be a little bit bigger part of it by the presenting sponsor, which we will be raffling off a kayak. You can tell us if you already know which one, for the Autism Anglers organization, which is a nonprofit that is basically just all about autism awareness and provides fishing gear to youth and well, anyone. I mean, any, autistic. So it's really cool 501c3 nonprofit we're using this year. So tell me a little bit about, and also you're in that area. So tell us a little bit of kind of where you're based out of and why it kind of makes sense to have this be your event this year.
Yeah, definitely. We're stoked about it. It was great to be a part of the KAS last year. We've got some ideas to, just really increase our presence and be more involved in each of the events this year. Really rally the New Canoe community to get out there and be a part of it. We'd love to see, just more New Canoe owners make that, make the trek, make these tournaments, and have it be an awesome way to connect with the kayak fishing community and just others in the New Canoe community. So really looking forward to being a part of it this year and kind of stepping up our game so we can make it even better. And then for Ocala, yeah, it's awesome to be right here at the start, kicking things off. We got some good dealers down there in Florida. We're growing in Florida. And I live in Florida. Now, Florida is not like any other state. So you can live in Florida, but you're still like 5-6 hours away. So
right.
It's still a little trek down to Ocala from the panhandle where I'm at. But yeah, February might be a good excuse to go take a road trip and go down there and be a part of the festivities.
Yeah, that's right. Get some people demoing some New Canoes and other brands that sponsor our series, because this is going to be cool. I can probably pull up the map here in a minute if we need to later in the show, but I'll show people where we're going to be at the Riley Arts Center for our awards. It's a big theater. It's got multiple theaters in it. It's a huge art center, and it's got giant parking lot, and it's literally on top of the Tuscaloosa, I hope I'm saying that right, park there in Ocala, right downtown. So there's lakes there and ponds, and we're going to be able to just have those kayak demos as part of the festival, and people can hang out. Like I said, if you make that one, it's still a little bit of a trek, but hopefully you can be there, make that one. People can meet you and test out some New Canoes and see what you guys are all about, because you're such a great brand. You're so supportive of the entire kayak fishing community, and the same way that we as tournament directors are working together and trying to do our best to create opportunities for anglers. You guys are I don't know anyone who has ever said a bad thing about New Canoe, the brand, the people that work there. And I hope we at the kayak manufacturer level continue to work together and stay that way too, and be as friendly, because I love everybody that works for all these companies. So anyway, but a little bit about the company, if you want to share that as well, and some of your boats, and maybe the one that you're thinking maybe we could raffle off for this cause.
Yeah, for sure, Drew. It's awesome. We do have a good reputation and connection with the community, with New Canoe owners, with the kayak industry as a whole. I mean, can't say it's 100% that we're batting, but there's a few haters out there that pop up every couple months, but it's the same usual suspects. So I can't please everybody all the time. I guess is what they say, right? But
yeah,
what can you do?
Yeah.
So yeah, we're as you can see in the graphic behind me, we've been around since 2006. I mean, kind of the funny thing about New Canoe is when we came out with what we then was the New Canoe 12, now we call it New Canoe was too wide, too heavy, too everything to be a canoe or a kayak. It wasn't paddleable. And this is the perception of the community at that time. So we were just the kayak and canoe market was here, and we were like somewhere way out there in the next door room.
It's because you were a new canoe.
Yeah, hey, we're just ahead of the time. You got to.
You were ahead of the times. The bigger, wider, longer.
Yeah, so we were 42 inches wide and like 90 pounds, and this is when a fishing kayak might have been 32 inches wide and 68 pounds, and it was funny, So we just kept plugging away, and initially we kind of found our growth not within exactly the kayak fishing community, but more the fishing community. And then over the years, our products improved, our designs improved, and the market changed. And, right now our Unlimited and U10 are 41 inches wide. So about the same width. They're, 78 and 85 pounds. So a little bit less weight. But now instead of us being like way over there as far as the market goes, man, now there's a load of fishing kayaks that are bigger and heavier and you name it than us. So it's kind of fun how it's evolved over the years. And we've really stayed, pretty much in our lane, pretty true to that original kind of design concept of the clean open decks, the customizability, stability was a big thing that set us apart years ago. But now, pretty much every kayak is designed for stability. I'd still put us up there at the top of that spectrum, but it's not quite as big a gap as it may have been 6, 8, 10 years ago. When the Frontier 12 came out and you got 3 guys standing up, rocking it back and forth in 2012, that was like, kayaks can't do this. But
yeah, exactly. So the other thing I was going to touch on was, we don't have to get into any details now, but it sounds like getting the new canoe community more involved. It sounds like that we're working on, and it's an idea that came from our one of our next guests, the guys from Naqua, that we kind of had like a bonus sort of bonus bucks program. We can at least tease that a little bit now, right? That it sounds like we're going to work on getting some sort of bonus program. If you're a new canoe angler, you might win. If you win, or you're just the top placing new canoe angler, you might win actually something extra. And Jake, you and I are going to have 3 different columns at registration this year, checking in on all these bonus bucks programs, be it, the GoPro guarantee or this new canoe, or maybe in the one we're going to talk about here in a minute with the Naqua guys. But anyway, so yeah, let's.
You guys have a good idea doing the social media post and tag to take that burden off y'all. So we may do the same thing.
Yeah,
so we'll figure it out. But one way or another, we're gonna have some bonus bucks for a new canoe. Anybody competing in a new canoe that either wins or the top finisher in a new canoe. So it doesn't mean you have to get first place to take something home. We want to reward the top new canoe finisher at each event. Also looking at other ways where we can kind of just build that community and, having some free swag for new canoe owners, a hat or a t-shirt that they can grab at the events. Maybe at the socials, the first round for new canoe owners is on us, something like that. Yeah. We're going to try to make it fun, try to get some team members involved, dealers involved, and, just really try to have the new canoe community be a big part of this and bring those people together. I know a lot of them interact via forums in different ways. So it's always nice to get face to face with the people that you know and others that are doing things like you.
Awesome, man. That is awesome. Well, hey, we appreciate your time here. Look forward to having you at the event and raising money for, the Autism Anglers Group. And before I let you go, I just want to say, I wish Geno Smith's leg really good. I know you're a Seahawks fan. You're from the Northwest. I hope it all goes well over there, man. And you guys can make the playoffs. So it's going to be tough.
Me too, man, because when the Seahawks lose, my son, he's in a bad mood. I mean, he can play soccer tournaments and do whatever and lose, no big deal. But when the Seahawks go down, man, it hurts him deep. So
yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, let's hope for the best. Through which model, I honestly hadn't thought about it. If y'all have an opinion on what one you want to have a chance to win out there on the raffle, drop it.
I mean, that
U10, because it's one heck of a kayak and it's our newest model. But hey,
the U10 was super popular at Michigan, like super popular. So
yeah, it was. All right.
And I mean, it's a great kayak too. I think it's a good middle ground kayak. It can do pretty much everything.
Yeah, it really can. It covers all the bases and nice compact size. It's not crazy to get around off the water.
It's easy to move around too. That's the one thing that surprised me about it is my buddy has one and I've paddled it. I've put it, he's got a motor on it, but like just the handles and being able to like pick it up and move it around, like it doesn't feel, anywhere as heavy as it is because it's so
Yeah.
like tactical, like tactful on the edge. So
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's great. Well, thanks for your time, Blake. We'll catch you later.
Thanks, guys.
And
Thanks.
see you at Ocalapalooza. Bring the fam, man. We got bounce houses, foods, games, kids zone. It's gonna be fun. If you want to bring them all,
All right.
bring them.
We're gonna
All
try
right.
to make it.
All right, man. We will see you later.
All right,
Thanks for
thanks, guys.
showing. Armando, hopefully you saw the change to Paris, Texas. By the way, we Sunday shootout on the 23rd to deconflict. Yeah, Blake, we're not gonna be able to answer all these questions, but Blake, we'll have this on the website soon. How do you get the GoPro money? Is that separate from winning, placing? Basically, short version, film with a GoPro, and have 2 of your 5 fish, sent to us before the awards so we can show them. And if you win, your payout goes up to 10,000 from whatever it would have normally been for the number of people. There will be a small minimum, like probably 125 angler minimum to hit that, but that's not very much at all for. Usually it takes 225, 250 to equal a $10,000 payout to the first place angler. So not hard to hit at all, not hard to achieve, but more information will be on the website on that, a graphic about it. And the next guest, by the way, shout out to Adam Coleman here, who's coming from Ohio to the Texas event as well. So he's excited about that Paris, Texas change because he's fishing the Bassmaster Championship. He's going to stick around. So let's see. I do need to send Dwayne a link to get on, but we'll bring in our next guest here, the guys from Naqua, I believe, because I still do not see our the guests from Ocala, Florida. Yeah, they're not there in the back stage here in the green room, but I'll bring in the guys from Naqua because tying into Blake Abbey's question about the GoPro guarantee money, the Naqua Naqua Power Bonus, which the guys,
they got
Billy,
quite the backdrop.
Yeah, look at that, Billy and Bill here.
Over here.
Yeah, we need some lights, guys.
We had to switch laptop.
Oh, no problem. We got you loud and clear. It looks great. Sounds great. So you're all set. So this is Billy and Bill. It's just the Bills, whatever, from Naqua. Excited to have you guys on board. You guys do so much within the kayak fishing industry, and I think you guys are planning on and doing, I know you are, a lot more. So this just makes a lot of sense to start getting people aware of all the great products. I've got some sitting right here, the Power Kit and
nice.
What do I have here? The Power Bank as well that I'm going to be using to power my GoPros this year at the Bassmaster events that I fish. So yeah, let's talk about the brand a little bit. I guess, Billy, probably start with you. And if you want to introduce Bill, you can, but we'll give us a little quick background on Naqua, how it started, and the kind of products you guys sell. I think a lot of people know, but just in case they don't, let's take it away.
Yeah, it's been thanks for having us. It's been a wild ride getting here. I spent the majority of my adult life competing professionally in water sports, and throughout that, developing products for various brands. And I was always like, I wanted to continue that and do it for myself as I finished up my career. And started Naqua back in 2013, 2012, 2013 with our underwater lighting system, which we have one kind of strobing back here. And as that took off, we realized the battery power for it really had applications outside of just lighting or powering our lighting systems. So we got into kayak fishing, or into the kayak fishing industry. And we went from one product to well over 100 now. So it's like really exciting on that part. And then we're excited to work with you guys and, keep it going.
Yeah, man. And we used to live in the same town there in Charlotte. You're north of Charlotte, but I used to live there. We connected quite a bit back in my Jackson days and just always had a good relationship. Yep. So when I saw you and Bill and, there and Bill, what is technically your title over there at Naqua? I mean, is it, I don't know, even know what you just do everything, but
well, we all do everything.
Yeah, it's a little bit of everything. It's the marketing director and sales and marketing director.
Okay. That's what I thought. You're over that side of things. Well, I'm glad you could join us as well. And you had a cool idea. When I told you about the GoPro guarantee, you and I were fleshing out another idea, and maybe we were all on a call when this happened. And you made a really cool graphic. You guys want to talk about the Naqua Power Bonus for the Kayak Adventure Series events?
Absolutely. Thanks, Drew. And so we're really excited to announce that at every event of the Kayak Adventure Series, there will be an additional competition, if you will, that everyone can register, and it's called the NACWA Power Bonus. And so it's an additional prize package to win a NACWA Adventure Gear worth $1,000. So it's split between $500 of NACWA Adventure Gear, awesome gear, and we can kind of show you some of what that is included. You kind of see that on the screen, and then $500 cash money. So, as you think about, participating in these events, it's not just your entry fee, and it's not just potentially winning the GoPro guarantee, but this is a kicker on top of that as well. So it's run separately, but it actually just helps the overall benefit of value for fishing the events. And so again, it'll be at every event, and it's pretty simple to register. So when you register for the event, you're going to be asked, do you want to participate as well in the NACWA Power Bonus? If you say yes, the other qualifier to do that is you have to be running a form of NACWA Power on your kayak. And so, whether you already run NACWA, that's awesome. But if you don't, we have some economically priced batteries, and Drew's got it up on the screen, actually, the power bank. So that's a $39.99, 10,000 milliamp power bank. And so we make it super affordable to offer that up to get entered into the NACWA Power Bonus. If you don't run our power products already. And then you just have to follow NACWA, follow Kayak Adventure Series on Instagram. And it's the top placing angler who has competed in that event wins the prize. And so we're really, really excited about it. Hopefully everybody else is as well. And it's just another great addition to the Kayak Adventure Series pot of winnings.
Yeah, I'm showing it off here. Actually,
and you can go all day with one of those within reason, like as long as you're not fishing like 12 hours. But you can definitely get like a full session, a full tournament out of one of those.
Yep, I love the compass on it. You've got the light on it as well. I mean, I just opened this, so I don't know if it's all charged up and whatnot. But anyway, it's just perfect for what we're doing. It's small, it's easy. It's got the light, like I said, and that's just one option. Of course, you got the bigger full, power kit that can a little bit more powerful, that can certainly, without a doubt, run it all day long. This one here, probably does as well. But if you really want to run multiple things, or your fish finder, this is definitely one to consider as well. So any NACWA stuff, it sounds like it's, it counts, obviously, any NACWA products, and it's not hard to get that. So I want to point something out here. The Toyota bonus bucks, which is part of our series as well, and part of all those bass boat tournaments for kayak fishing. And I'm pretty sure it's even the same in regional and bigger, Bassmaster events. I think it's like $1,000 or something for it's like, if you win, it's like not, you would think, I mean, you guys are doing $1,000 worth of product and the 500 cash. I mean, that's unbelievable that just for buying a $29, whatever it was, $30, $32 power bank to run, you can literally win $1,000 worth of stuff. And all it takes is just following you guys and posting a short little, a picture or a reel showing that you are using it, because people would obviously try to cheat the system and do it after the fact. So that makes sense. And then that's it. I mean, it's not hard to do. I mean, it's way easier than buying a $70,000 Toyota Tacoma. I promise you that. Way easier.
Right. Yeah. And the great thing with the power bank too, is it's a low cost entry product to enter you into this, but also just super efficient working with devices like GoPros. And then just pop it out when you're done, throw it on your backpack with the carabiner, and then you have something to charge your phone when you're on the go for everyday lifestyle use. And that's why we designed it.
Yep, because it's
got
the
cool thing about it is, a lot of times when you go to events and tournaments and you pay these extra fees to compete in these side pots, if you will, you pay cash, and if you don't win, you lose the money. But in this case, if you don't already run a NACWA battery and you need to, and you want to get qualified in for this, and you end up buying the power bank, then you actually have usable power elsewhere after the event, even if you don't place. And so there's a lot of utility with it.
Yeah, for sure. And then think about it. How many times, Jake, at a tournament have you been freaked out because your phone starts to try to find signal so much that it starts to die? You know what I mean? And then you're
pretty often. I mean, especially if you're filming, and you've got one battery going to your GoPro, you almost have to have a backup power bank like that. I always have a 10,000 milliamp hour or whatever the number is. the big one, like in the bag, ready to go.
Yep.
Because if your phone dies, you lose, right?
You lose. Yeah. You can't get your
It's
fish
over.
in. It's over. Right.
Like,
And I've had to turn my phone on airplane mode many times. So
Yeah.
many times on airplane mode just to make sure I don't like die.
And
My
you-
phone doesn't die. So that's a great thing to have. And then you guys
and the
got something.
size is perfect because look at how they have it in the life jacket. So like when I'm filming from like a chest mount too, like if I have the GoPro here, like I put the battery in there and then you just have a wire and you could film a front view, right? So like you could see all the action on your GoPro.
Mhm.
Yeah, it fits perfectly in most vests. This is an NRS Chinook that I use, and so it's great for that if you're going to run a GoPro chesty. Fits perfectly in there, and and you can run your GoPro for hours on it.
Yeah,
the
so
chest-
Elvis asked that if we could
sorry.
run it for a full day, but you definitely can get. I've run my GoPro off the same size brick for a full 10 hours.
Yeah,
And so,
it'll work.
So here's the power bank, and I put this on this morning. It's been recording since I think 10:30, and it's just now under one bar out of 4. So it still has 3 bars going. And again, it's a 10,000 milliamp. Yeah, I mean you'll get many hours. And if you guys want to know the actual, I'm doing the test now, so I can relay that back to you guys and we can share it.
Yeah, I think the amp draw on that is not too bad. I think it's like 0.3 or something.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And the other thing that we've done that we've introduced is a USB-C adapter. So if you wanted to connect to any of our other batteries, like what you were showing in the kit, so our 4.4, the 10 or the 20, now you have a really easy adapter to just run this out, go into your GoPro, and then you could even split the power off and have half of it go into your fish finder, half of it going right to your GoPro, and you would never have to worry about running out of power.
I need one of those.
That's cool.
Because like right now I've got like my home brewed one, and it's like it's not very reliable because I wired it myself. But
hey Drew, if we have just another quick minute, I think one thing that we haven't shared as part of the prize package that's included in the NACWA gifts, if you will, as part of the 500 of the 1,000, we've got a new backpack. It's a travel focused backpack, and it just launched about 2 months ago. It's actually 2 bags in one. You can carry it in 6 different carry configurations, and so part of this prize package of the 500 NACWA gear is this bag, and it is just an awesome travel bag for anybody that travels. It's a really great bag, and we're super excited. Yeah, super excited.
So I'm going to take you full screen. I'm going to take you full screen, Billy, so you can show us, because I was blown away by this bag at ICAST and the thought that you'd put into it. So share it. Give us a little quick rundown.
Yeah, my goal was, to just from traveling throughout my adult life and all the different circumstances you get into with, even if it's going from the office to having to jump onto a plane or go to a meeting when you arrive at some location, then you have your big backpack that you're kind of packing all your stuff into. So what we did is we created a separate pack on the back here that completely unzips. This separates off the pack, and it'll allow you to just carry your laptop and notebooks and even water bottle or thing like that. So you're only taking the minimal amount that you need for that particular application. Then, as you're going around, we insulated all of the pockets. You can carry just a massive amount of stuff in here. And then another unique feature is the whole bottom of this bag drops out from here, and it turns into a sideways duffel, which adds about another third to your capacity. So the bag in itself just has so many unique features to it. I think when people get their hands on it, they'll really see the value of it. And it's just another item that we're adding. And we've done some personalization to it just for the Kayak Adventure series. So we're pumped to see people and get the response.
Man, I love it. That is so cool.
Dude,
That's
like
always
an
a
awesome bank fishing bag too.
Mhm.
Like I fish the bank a lot because I just like to fish and I can't be stopped. And like that looks like the perfect bag to like take with you on like a bank fishing adventure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then guys, lastly, we didn't we should have mentioned this a little bit earlier, but those that register for the Kayak Adventure Series early, or the first 50 that register, are going to get a cool little draw string bag with some NACWA goodies in there as well. And so, we definitely have invested in the events throughout the series, and we hope that everybody, jumps in early on these things to grab these little gift bags as well.
Actually, as a matter of fact, you just reminded me of something. That's good. Bill, man, that's incredible. So finally, some measurable output from Bill. My goodness, as if this guy obviously
Let me
doesn't do
answer this
enough.
question since we got
that
some
was
people
amazing.
asking this. So
Yeah.
I film a lot, obviously. So what size battery pack will run a GoPro all day? And then someone asking like what resolution. So I don't ever film over 2.7K, and I can get, and I did the math on this. Mathematically speaking, the GoPro's max amp draw is going to be 1 amp hour.
Yeah.
So you can get 10 hours out of one of those battery packs, and that's at full pull. So if you take it down a little bit to like 1080, you might be able to squeak out 12 to 13 hours. So you're going to be able to go all day, because most of us don't there's not even 10 hours of daylight right now. So
yeah. So Jake, what you're saying, this is the 10 amp hour. That example that you just gave, the 10 hours of runtime would be on this battery. That's
the one you have the GoPro plugged in, because I did the conversion, and I guess it's the equivalent of around 10 hours.
So this one is 10,000 milliamps. So just think it's 1/10 of this battery.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Well, Bill, you reminded me to scroll this ticker across the bottom, which I'm making now, about the Naqua bags that you guys we're using the Naqua bags to put all the $100 worth of sponsors products that the first 50 anglers get at every event. So I'm going to put that across the bottom right now, because we forgot to mention that registration is now open for Ocalapalooza starting today. That's like one of the main things. So anyway, I'm putting that right now, I think, across the bottom of the screen. So you guys should see that. Let's see. Right here. Okay. So you go to kayakadventureseries.com/Ocalapalooza. We already had Jake Cook register before it was technically even open, because he found it on TourneyX, but it's registered on our website now. So you guys can start to register. The first 50 will receive that bag full of $100 worth of, some Naqua product / I think Naqua something it'll be in there from Naqua. I can't remember if it was like a little item you guys had to give us as well. But either way, $100 worth of total stuff from our sponsors. And we appreciate your time. You guys are awesome. Can't wait to see people win that Naqua power bonus on stage. And I can't wait to kind of in a weird way also see someone not win it, and then on stage all the like groans in the crowd, like, dude, all it took was buying this. We're going to sell these in some way. I believe we're trying to work on selling these at our registration, so you can easily get into the bonus right there at registration before the event. So it's not hard at all. So I appreciate you guys, and we'll catch you guys on the trail. Any last comments or thoughts?
Hey, just thank you very much for the opportunity. We're really excited to work with you guys, and then you and I are going to get out for a round of disc golf sometime soon.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure. One of these events, we're going to make it happen. We'll find a DG course and make it happen. So cool. Well, we'll see you guys later.
See you later. Have a good day.
Yep.
Bye. Dude, what I love the most is that as a kayak fisherman, as anglers, we're very much like, we want to support. Look, no one knows where this shirt was made. I don't know where everything is that I own is made from, but for whatever reason, when we do know, and like, we obviously the battery packs and things are made of, most of them all overseas or somewhere. But what I do know is that Naqua cares about kayak fishermen. I don't know these other random Amazon battery packs that are all the same price as this thing. I don't know those people even know who we are or we exist, and they do. And they're making lights for our kayaks as well, and batteries that work our fish finders. And it's like, this is a no-brainer to support them as opposed to any other random.
I mean, I've worked with several overseas lithium companies in the last 6 months, and it's difficult. So it is nice to have like a forward-facing, like, presence, like people who actually kayak fish. That's awesome.
That are based here. This is where they're based, and they of course source and try to make. We could have asked them that, make anything they do make the bags or whatever in the U.S. I know, but man, those guys are awesome, and we'll have them on again and get more information about that. And they could even post in the comments if they want anything about that. But I just love the fact that they know who we are, they support us, and their pricing and everything is the same as you would find randomly on any battery packs. And it's better because it was constructed. Their design is involved in it, like you said, with the light, with the ability to put it on a carabiner, all those things that they have.
Well, they also have some really more compact designs than what you typically would see. I think those like the 10 amp hour one is much more like efficient for like a hull of a kayak. Whereas
Yeah.
like instead of like a brick, like a giant, fat 10 amp
this one.
hour.
Yeah, this one's small.
Right.
Yeah, and the Velcro strap could strap. So you'll notice Brad Hicks's recent post. We may have shared it. Brad Hicks, go check him out. His post. He had the Naqua tagged, and that Velcro strap is made so you can take it to like your Yak Attack boomstick or whatever you're using to film with. So anyway, appreciate those guys for sure. Let's go on to our next guest. We've got. I still don't see. I wonder if they got mixed up with the time, thinking it was, Central Time. But we'll bring in real quick. We got Buzz, Chris. I see you guys. Sean. We're going to quickly bring in Dwayne, and then we'll hit you guys. So Dwayne Wally of Turdy X, we just want to bring him in because our other guest, Shan O'Gorman, he's not going to be able to make it, the fisheries biologist. However, aquatic biologist is his Instagram. You can follow him. He will be one of our speakers at the Bash U Brunch for this event. So there's some information about it. We'll bring in Dwayne because Dwayne, you guys are scoring our series this year through Turny X. As always, anglers love your system, the ease and use of it. So just wanted to bring you on as we kick off the season and say thanks for that and all you're doing to even make some modifications, what down the road for microbag and other things that, that I know it's not cheap to do. So appreciate you, bud.
Absolutely. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I didn't know if these earbuds were working or not. Listen, first of all, thank you, Drew, for having us do this last year and work with you on the Kayak Adventure Series. Okay. It's been excellent. The amount of people that have shown interest in this is just unbelievable. You've thought outside the box. You come up with some different opportunity for people to get involved in the kayak fishing, back into your habitat and where you belong in the rivers and the creeks and what have you.
Right.
And these people it's weird though. You look at the list of anglers from other tournaments, lakes, national events, what have you, and they're like two different entities. It's like this whole time we've had people that have been missing out on doing this. Okay. And then there are some rollovers. So you got some people that are coming over for sure, but you also have the ones that not say left out, but just come out of the woodwork. And I think it's an awesome opportunity for those people. So what you're doing is excellent. And I appreciate being part of it.
Hey man, I've always said it's sand volleyball versus hard court. It's dirt track and truck series versus paved concrete racing. The sport of racing is better off if they have a truck series and a dirt tracks, local, regional, national series, right? And sand volleyball versus hard court. We're better off when we have, different formats and we don't want to be the same as Bassmaster and they don't want to be the same as us. We don't want to be the same as Native Power Hour and they don't want to be the same as us. We should give the anglers the diversity that we're doing. And I love it, man. And love those other series and what they offer. Obviously, I mean, sitting here, just my pride and joy, the AOI trophy, the championship trophy. And I love that high competitive stuff. But this right here, I know we've got big money guarantees and stuff like that this year, but it still maintains that 2-man entry fee that's $75 a piece. That's not much. It maintains a format where a day and a half, it's kind of like anybody's ball game for 5 fish in a day and a half in new fisheries that the national PKAs, if you want to call them that, the pro kayak anglers don't really have their honey holes locked in. So I think it gives the average Joe kind of just intermediate angler a chance to compete with those guys and worst case, be there with them and learn from them and get to meet them that they're fans of, right? They're YouTubers, they follow the Russ Snyders, the Christines, they show up at these events here and there. And I know we'll continue. So it gives them an opportunity to meet them. So we're excited about that and excited about Turny X because it's so easy to use. I love that platform.
That. That's the best part. It's just you put your fish in and they go in.
I appreciate that. Listen, from day one, I am a keep it simple type of guy. I don't want to complicate it. Don't want to make it hard on you guys. Don't want to make it hard on anglers. Anglers are number one to me because it all depends on them. We have to take care of those guys. We have to make sure it's easy to work. I'm not going to say we're not going to change anything in Turny X, but for the foreseen future, the app is where it is. You get muscle memory. And muscle memory, it just works. And so it's funny. You mentioned earlier about somebody had already signed up on the tournament and you hadn't even promoted it yet. It's amazing how these people, they're looking, brother. They are looking. They're ready. They're hungry. We ain't even got to 25 yet, and they're already hungry to get online. So I think it's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
I think it's gonna be a big
hungry,
year.
Your daughter mentioned breakfast this morning.
Yeah.
Okay, so right now, if you can see, I'm cooking hash browns and deer sausage, and
oh, nice.
That's what's going on in the kitchen this morning.
Nice, man. Sorry, I'm quickly sending a message to another guest that needs to get on here. But
that's okay.
But
I
let's
came
talk
home and started
about
cooking hash browns.
Nice, yeah. He was not enjoying her peach, like what I have peach oatmeal. She didn't like that flavor. She wanted maple and brown sugar, man. That's the one she wants with peanut butter in it too. So I just threw down the peach, and she wasn't thrilled. So all right, it's life of having a 3.5-year-old.
So you talked about a minute ago about the micro bag, and we're gonna have to go another year with a micro bag the way it was last year. We're just gonna have to kind of look at it in reverse order. However, we're fixing to work on some rewrites and stuff on Tourney X, and we're going to integrate that in. So Drew's been gracious enough to talk to me about instead of writing it and rewriting it again, we're going to try to get it all written in at the same time. So
yeah,
if you guys can hang on for another season, we appreciate it.
I think we'll be all right.
We'll work through it. So
yeah, we'll be all right.
Basically, what Dwayne's saying is you just got to look at the leaderboard opposite, and you're not supposed to submit any fish until you have 5 fish, which wouldn't it make sense, Dwayne, to submit them, like put them on the live well and then just submit it all at one time, like from the live well?
Delete them. Like if you're on top of it, you can just manually, delete the bigger fish.
Yeah, but we don't want people submitting one at a time because then they show up. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like you have to have 5.
It would be good to stick them in the live well and do a pre-submit. We can call it a pre-submit live well. Put them in your live well till you get to the 5th one, and then bang them all out. That way you're good. You got your 5, and at that point we're going to call them. Of course, well, we don't call big to little, so you're going to have to remove, like you just said, you're going to have to remove your big fish, and that's fine. You can go into Tourney X in the managed catch area, swipe, delete, upload your smaller fish. It'll work out just fine. So. It's kind of old school. We used to do that back in the day. We didn't have the call system, in the first 2 years. And so we ended up having to just swipe and delete that fish and resubmit the smaller ones. So
yeah, that'll work.
And that's a lot of work.
We might have to manipulate we could even manipulate the numbers to try to see if we can get the winner to actually be at the top instead of the bottom, but we'll figure it out. But man, we appreciate you working on that for us. And, I look forward to seeing you maybe at some of these events this year. Maybe show up to.
I do want to try to make one if I can get one close. Yes, sir. We'll try to be there and visit. So.
Yeah. All right, man. I'm looking forward to it. Thanks again for everything you guys do for us, and we'll I guess catch you down the road.
All right. Thanks, Drew. Appreciate you guys.
All right. See you. All right. Fink also. Sorry, I just pulled down the comment you put up, Jake. If you want to read it, you can.
Good.
I like Mike Fink's comment. Glad y'all put Paris, Texas right after the championship because you can leave right from there and head to Paris. It really does work perfectly. It might rule some people out in some ways, but it at least gives all the anglers a chance to now fish the KAS event and the North Texas Texas Bass Nation event. So that's kind of, again, it's just giving more anglers more opportunity. So I think it's going to be a good change. And let's see, let's bring on the guys from, we're going to introduce our anglers. So I just think I just got a registration email. Someone may have registered. So you guys can keep an eye on that and see how many people we get registered. So Arlie Milton registered. So what's up, Arlie? Shout out to Arlie for registering. Let's bring on the guys from the tournament directors from the local clubs we're working with down in Florida. And let me see here real quick. I'm going to pull up the schedule to make sure I'm not missing anybody. I guess we'll bring on, let's see, I'll bring on Chris here. And we'll bring them all at one time. Just a quick introduction. Wait, Chris. There's Chris. What's up? Chris Bailey from
What's going on, guys? How are you doing today?
Good, man. Good. Florida Kayak Bass Trail. You got the hat on. You're rocking it.
Yes,
you guys
sir.
do some great stuff. And then we should bring on Sean, who's with you guys as well. Sean Spears, who's on your staff and does some known to catch some fish as well. And then we'll also bring on Buzz. We'll bring you guys all on at one time. Buzz is with the.
Come on, Buzz.
What's up, Buzz?
How's it going?
What's up, guys?
Going good. So, Buzz, you're with the Florida Bass Nation Kayak Series, and you handle one of the chapters. What is it, Northeast, or it's called East, I guess, or Northeast?
Yeah,
is that
Northeast
right?
chapter. Yeah, the region.
So awesome. Yeah. And then the Florida Kayak Bass Trail for these guys. You guys do some incredible stuff. And, Chris and Sean, we ran into all the Florida Kayak Bass Trail guys in ICAST, and we were all fired up about the event. We made a reel. You guys already, because again, we put our schedule out so early. We will announce at Ocalapalooza we should be able to announce the first event or at least one of the events and the dates, location for 2026. And we had announced this one so early that you guys already knew about it at ICAST, and we were fired up on it. So we're here to just, you can quickly touch on your trail, and then we're going to talk about the water. I'm going to share the screen, and we're going to look at some of these lakes that are in bounds and rivers. And then we're going to get your thoughts and comments on, you don't have to spill any juice, but just how do you think it may get one, or some of the different ways it could get one? Because obviously nobody knows. Heck, you might think a lake that stinks that's in bounds, is not going to do anything. But when no one else is there and one person finds some magical spot there that you never found, and that whenever you fish it, then it could win. So who knows? But yeah, I guess Chris and Sean, just real quick, the rundown, the Florida Kayak Bass Trail. What you got?
Yeah. So again, Drew, thank you guys for allowing us to take part in the Kayak Adventure series. We were super hyped about it at ICAST. We saw your series, and as anglers from Florida, we saw what y'all were doing last year. And we're like, man, that series is awesome. It offers a lot for anglers. We have a lot of anglers down in Florida that always ask, hey, why are we fishing the big waters? Can we open up some creeks and rivers and so forth? So we have Sean here, who is our boundaries and rules official. We listen to the anglers, and a lot of the lakes and things that we fish here in pretty much all over Florida. We open up a lot of the rivers and creek arms that are into kind of intertwined with those bodies of waters, just so anglers have an opportunity to kind of get in the backwaters and fish those areas. I can say the bodies of water that you guys have in play for this, any body of water that you guys have has a winning bag on it. I promise you that, especially during that time. There's some big fish. Buzz Burline is known to catch some big fish up in that area. So I'm sure he'll talk on that here in the next couple minutes or so. But no, we are super excited. There was a hiccup on our part where a hurricane kind of threw a wrench into our schedule, but we got that all figured out, Drew. So our team down in Florida is super excited to participate in your guys' event. And we're looking forward to being there with you guys as well. But that's all I have. Thank you guys for allowing the Florida Kayak Bass Trail to be a big part of this event down in Ocala. So
awesome, man. Awesome. Can't wait to hear some of your insights, Sean and Chris, as we talk about the waters. Buzz, you're with Florida Bass Nation Kayak Series. So tell us a little bit about what that series is about and your region that you're over.
Yeah, thank you for allowing us to be involved as well. So there are 4 regions in the Florida Bass Nation Kayak Series. I'm the tournament director for the Northeast, and we have one Northwest, Central, and South. And so kind of the thought about doing that was so you wouldn't have to spend the night somewhere. You could all be within a few hours drive of your destination of where you want to fish. And when we heard that you guys were going to be in Ocala, we were like, okay, most of the lakes are already in our region as well. So we had a tournament actually on one of your same days, and Drew's been great about helping us. And just you had the early conversation about cooperative participation, and we work so well with FKBT. We have a lot of anglers that fish in both, and I fish in both, and on a national side, we want to do that too. So we moved our tournament to Sunday, and that's going to be at Lake Santa Fe, which is if you're coming from the north, it's down to Florida. It's not a traditional lake. Lake Santa Fe is 30 foot deep in a lot of places, and we can talk more about that later. But we're doing that on Sunday, so I hope that everybody who participates in the tournament stays down that for the whole weekend and would like to participate in a I would say untraditional lake here in the Northeast. It's not far from Ocala, so so it's and we're really excited about the whole thing, and any way we can help, we're going to do it.
I got something going here. Check this out. This guy is
oh, thanks, man.
This is a little highlight promo video
the Northeast Lakes, right? Well, that's not a Northeast Lake, but you can find it in the stream somewhere.
Traveling at the speed of light.
Could you guys hear the audio too? If I play the audio, could you hear it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear it.
Well, we'll leave it off so we can talk. But yeah, this is some little get you guys pumped up about all the wild and crazy water. Hey, Florida is unbelievable. It really is. There's in all the water we have in bounds, people are going to catch, their personal best. They're going to catch. I will say a couple of things about what you just said about Lake Santa Fe. That's up there further, even by close to the Santa Fe River, that on north. So if you want to fish, if you want to catch a bucket list fish while you're there, there's a lot of reasons to come to Ocalapalooza. Okay. $10,000 GoPro guarantee. Obviously it's cold wherever you live. I promise you, if it's not Florida, it's cold that time of year. So get down there, get, fun in the sun. Okay. Then you've got this extra event, Buzz's event on Sunday, you could still be a part of. And then you can knock off a bucket list fish, the Swanee bass, which is right there in the Santa Fe River and, about an hour north of Ocala. So it's on your way down, on your way back. That's another good thing. And then the last thing, if you, for some reason, can't make it to Buzz's event on Sunday on Lake Santa Fe or whatever reason, just too whipped or too tired, whatever, the Bassmaster Elite Series is an hour away they're on the St. Johns River, and we end on Saturday. And on that Sunday, people on their way home, if they, they can't fish your event, they can still stop by and at least see the Elite Series weigh-in. How close are you ever going to be, to an Elite Series weigh-in? So you guys can do that on the way back on Sunday as well. You probably could even fish Buzz's event and make it to the weigh-in on time. They don't even start those things till 3:30, 4 o'clock or whatever it is on the final day, and your event probably ends and around 2:30, 2, 3. I don't know when you do how long you go, but anyway, lots of reasons to come down to Ocalapalooza. You get it. The other thing, someone made a comment that, here we go. He said, what was the comment that about registrations? Okay, I do want to answer this real quick. Are all the registrations open on Tourney X? So a little birdie told me that if you go on Tourney X and actually search for the Kayak Adventure Series events, they'll pop up and you can register. Now, are they on the website? Are they linked on the website straight from the Kayak Adventure Series website? Not yet. We kind of really open it up at the official preview shows like this one. So this is when Ocalapalooza's registration is open. But if you go on our website, you'll see right here on the Ocalapalooza page, here it is. You pop up Ocalapalooza. Event details just became live. It became orange, which is live. You click on it, takes you down to the register buttons. I'm not going to click on this because it's going to take you to Tourney X, but trust me, they all go. So you can start registering for the team division, the individual, and the micro bag, and get your registration in for the youth division, the high school. We're actually going to change the name of that, actually call it high school and youth as well. We'll figure out what exactly we're going to change it to, but you get the point, guys, that the Ocalapalooza is up and going, and the other ones you could actually find on Tourney X and register. So if you want to be one of those first 50 and you want to beat the preview show for Paris Reel Fest or whatever it is, go on.
Did we update the date on the Paris Reel Fest?
I don't know if we did. Probably not.
I don't think we did.
So we'll update the date.
That's the only reason why I was like, because right now it's showing as the old date. So just
we can fix that real easy. Actually, so
I just so people don't get thrown off.
I might be able to do it right now, actually, while you guys are talking about this water. But let's pull up the water that's in bounds. I'm actually going to share a screen. I might have to go to my Gmail account for Chase the Wild at Kayak Adventure Series, which is what you guys can always email us at Chase the Wild at Kayak Adventure Series and pull up the Google Maps. Let me do that, and it shows all the pins, all the water we have in bounds. But let's first start talking. While I do that, you guys, someone go first, and let's talk about Orange Lake, because it's the big one that I think everyone has heard about. They know about it. It's on the Bassmaster. What was it? The top lake in the southeast, and there's a lot of incredible bass fishing lakes in the southeast. So, Buzz, why don't you kick us off and talk about Orange Lake, and then we'll let the other guys chime in as well.
Sure. It's my home lake. I live about 20 minutes from there. I've caught my PB bass there. It is in Tourney, or it's in state. What's it called, Chris?
Trophy catch.
Trophy catch. Yes. Geez. Trophy catch. It has last year. It had more 10-pounders than any other place in the state. And there was a big competition between Headwaters and Orange Lake, and Headwaters actually won for most fish over 8 pounds, but Orange Lake had more than 10. So it's definitely a trophy bass place. It's a place to catch your PB. It can be fickle. It can definitely be fickle. You can, depending upon the weather and so forth. But in a kayak, it'll be a great time of year to be down there. A lot of the topped out grass will have been burnt off, or they do some spraying out there on a regular basis too. So should be able to get around a little bit easier than if you were out there in the summertime where you have to paddle a lot. You wear yourself out and in the heat. But it's an awesome lake. And Drew, before we go, I have some info about Rodman too, a little inside scoop that hasn't been shared yet. So I think everybody will be interested in that, which is also in this area.
All right. So you want to wait and talk about that? Should I just zoom into Orange?
Yeah, I'm going to get, unless you want me to talk more about Orange, because there's lots of different stories.
There's 3 major boat ramps there on Orange too.
Okay.
You got 3. The big one right there is the Marjorie Keenan Rollins, that historic boat ramp right there. There's a bathroom on the central east side of the lake.
Is it this one here?
On the other, go right out to the east. Yep, you'll see it. It says Marjorie Keenan. That's a large boat ramp there. Yep. That's going to be your largest one with the most like spots right there.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you've got you can just tell there's all kinds of vegetation, which is why it's so good. I mean, it's just not that
you can get back up in there.
Yeah,
you can get back in there now because of the hurricane pushed a lot of water back into those little creeks.
That's cool, man. You can definitely tell why this lake's awesome. I mean, just tons of vegetation, healthy grass. They're not too concerned about killing it all off and spraying it like some lakes. It doesn't look like it's just littered with docks and houses and party boats like other lakes might. You can tell that's why it's good. And then Ocalapalooza is connected to it, which is also one of our eligible waters. So that's probably, I'm sure just nearly it's got to be just as good or close to it. If not, there's got to be winning fish there. I mean, it's connected, like I said. So you guys want to touch on that one? What do you think? It could be a winner there
so
too.
Actually, the Ocalapalooza, we had an event out there when, Sean, about
last
a month ago. Yeah, last month was our FKBT event, and Ocalapalooza actually won big bass. Doug Wilson caught a 23.5 out of Ocalapalooza. I know the Sunday Slammer trail that's here in Florida too, Buzz. They're going to be out there next month fishing Ocalapalooza, just Ocalapalooza. We had Chris Mitchell fish the Bass Nation Championship. They had it on Orange Lake this year. He caught a 10-pounder. On the same day, Amy Brown caught, I would assume was a 10-pounder. Her scale was broken. It was 9 something, but those were both 20, 25, 26-inch bass. We had our state championship out of there 2 years ago, and Sherman Bishop in back-to-back years caught a 26.5 and 25-inch bass out of there too on those events. So there's a bunch of big fish in both bodies of water there. A lot of hydrilla.
Orange Lake should pop. It's going to be popping off at that time. So, right now, I fished out there. When did me and Daryl go out there? Sunday.
Yeah.
On Orange Lake, and it took us about half the day to find them. But once we found them, they were loaded up all in one spot, feeding pretty heavy. So.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think about if the majority of the anglers try to go to Orange? That will cannibalize that lake a little bit. It might, or
it'll get tight pretty quick if there's a lot of people.
But I'll tell you this, and Buzz can probably talk about this. Every single day there is 20 to 40 boats out there going out of Marjorie Keenan every day. You go out there on a Saturday, you're gonna have a good 60 boats out on the water. And they all launch from that Marjorie Keenan. So if you don't get there early, it's gonna be very, very difficult for you guys to find a spot, because University of Florida hosts a lot of charity events out of there. And there's always these like local boat bass tournament trails that go out of there, and they beat it up Monday through Sunday, 7 days a week. So it does fish, like Buzz said, fickle at times, and they like Sean said, they do group up too. So if you find them, you'll do good.
So if you want to avoid the crowds, you know, even though we know it's a good lake, you might try. Again, we put these lakes in here. We don't know which ones are good and bad, and this show really isn't even about trying to, I guess, spill all the juice on which ones might be, ones to try or not. And a lot of these lakes that are smaller, like this one right here, maybe in the Santa Fe. I mean, you guys obviously are using Santa Fe for a tournament, but a lot of all those lakes, if you look at all of our lakes and bounds, there's a lot of smaller lakes. So they maybe don't have normal like tournaments, like even tournaments, local, regional tournaments. So they're a little bit of a wild card. They're unknown. It's kind of like this Newman's Lake could certainly, it's Florida. So every one of these lakes, like you said, have 25 entries in it somewhere. So that
we just fished that lake.
Yeah, we fished Noonan's last month.
Yeah.
Noonan's is a tricky one.
Solid spot. That's all I'll leave
Nice.
for that.
Yeah, Fish and Game has released like 1 million fish in Noonan's, and it's both really good for crappie, but it's a traditional Florida lake where like it's really shallow, even out in the middle. It's like 5 feet.
It fishes just like Instapoga.
Very similar.
Okay. Yeah,
really.
A lot of cypress trees. There's some cypress trees on that Owens. If you go northeast side, there's the banks lined with cypress trees there. There's a lot of grass, offshore grass too, that you can see.
And alligators.
Yeah.
And a bunch of alligators.
There's some good alligators in there.
And there's a bunch of there's a bunch of pads where you're at right there, Drew.
Right.
There's a bunch of offshore pads too. So
cool. So that could be a winner.
Newman's was really nice.
Like Santa Fe up here, right? I mean, so you got lots of different little small lakes that are connected to it. It looks like a little potentially or canals.
That's a deep lake there. It's a good
deep lake. It could be if you're going to fish the event, Buzz's event. It could be something to go fish to check out. And you're kind of already pre-fishing, for Sunday's event. So that's another one. Try to quickly just, you can say something about Santa Fe if you want to. You guys have already touched on it with a little bit with Buzz's comments about it, but I'll move over to Rodman and the Ocalapalooza River here. So do you want to touch on your Rodman comment?
Yeah. So as you guys know, the elite fish, as you already mentioned, Drew, the elites are going to be on St. Johns River, and traditionally they have used Rodman for
that's right,
the tournament site. But I just talked with I'm not sure if he was supposed to tell me or not, so I won't say it. But it's an elite angler who grew up in this area. Yeah, and he's given me information that they are not going to allow Rodman for the elite anglers. So that's some juice that you won't be competing with, the tops of the tops. They won't be camping on your spot in there for several days or even in pre-fishing. Wow. They're allowed to do it in pre-fishing. So Rodman will be less crowded.
Are they doing the drawdown? I know that they were talking about it. I don't know if it got canceled or not.
Yeah, thank you for asking that. Let me give you the whole deal on that. So they started the drawdown and it drew down pretty fast. And then we had the hurricanes and the St. Johns River area was totally flooded. So they canceled the drawdown within about 3 weeks of them starting it. And so the water is back up to where it normally was. But I think that the whole drawdown deal, when they were drawing it down, they weren't going to allow the elites in there. And then, some people had already fished it or not fished it. So I think that's hurricanes dealt with the change of the drawdown, but it impacted the elites in that they weren't going to be able to fish it before, so they can't fish it again now. That is of last week. Now you never know how people can, organize and change how they feel about it. But that was as of last week.
I think
be there.
I think that they might actually. Here's what I think. I think they might actually leave it off because of the whole forward-facing sonar and trying to make their schedule a little bit more not forward-facing sonar focused. Not that you can't win anywhere else on St. John's with it, but most people that went into Rodman were using their forward-facing sonar, the live scope. So I think that could be why they're not going to add it this time. And I think that's a great decision, and it leaves it open for us. And but I will note that our downstream launch boundary of that event, which I just had it up on the map there, is actually on the opposite side of the dam for Rodman. So technically right there, if some elite angler were to actually come all the way up the Ocalapalooza River, you could see somebody, but it's nothing to worry about. That's for sure. I think I don't know if I'm going to take a short, if you guys are cool with it, like 5 minutes or less break. And if you guys one of you guys needs to leave, maybe I can't remember if one of you had to.
No, I'm good.
Okay, then I'm going to bring in Brian from Ocala, Marion, County, because he had some stuff come up, but he's able to hop in right now and just quickly thank him for hosting us. So I think he's in.
Absolutely.
Let me pull him in real quick and see if we can at least get his audio, if he's there. I might have to unmute him.
Unmute. Hey guys, can you hear me?
We got you, man. What's up, Brian?
I'm not sure if my video is working or not.
I don't see you on video. You might have to hit settings or something there on those 3 dots. I'm not sure.
Oh,
there we go.
I had my camera blocked. That would help.
Yeah.
Hence that little orange thing at the top. Yeah. Again, guys, sorry for my my tardiness. I just emailed Drew panicking there. I had to put on my schedule for tomorrow, and again, so
no
apologize
problem,
about that. That is no representation of Ocala and Marion County. That's just my own just being not prepared. But yeah, guys, I typed up a little talking points if you guys want me to go over that for you. But we're just very excited that you guys are going to be coming. We first and foremost, we have over 600 lakes in Marion County with Ocala National Forest as a hotspot. Some of the favorites include Lake George, Ocalaha River, Rodman Reservoir, which you guys were obviously just talking about, which is a hotspot for largemouth bass. We got Lake Kerr, Lake Bryant, Lake Eaton, Lake Jumper, Mill Dam Lake, and Sellers Lake. Additionally, we have the largest lake in north central Florida, Orange Lake, which I know you are.
Whoops.
And Orange Lake is awesome. It's got a lot of lily pad dense areas, really good for some good fishing. Additionally, there's also Lake Weir. Lake Weir has a lot of bands of grass along the shoreline, so you can find some pretty big guys over there. On top of that, guys, and I'll be more than happy to send this out to Drew, and he can do an email blast. But on our website, ocalamarion.com, we have a detailed fishing guide, and you guys are welcome to use that as your reference. Moving on, some of the venues. Up
right here. Here's your website.
Yep. Perfect. And then if you actually search for fishing guide, it pretty much just goes over some of the bodies of the water that I was just mentioning. And yep, there you go, right there, that top one.
There you go. Got it. So you guys can check that out.
And we actually had some anglers help us with this, so it's not full of shit. It's actually relevant information. So
nice.
So some of the things, guys, when you're not fishing, some of the venues we'll be using, we got a brand new brewery that's downtown at one of our beautiful parks. It's called Midtown Station. It's a multi-space restaurant. So they got an awesome barbecue shop in there. You can get pizza, you can get ice cream, gelato, coffee, pastries, all that good stuff. We also have a new multi-unit that we're hoping will be open for when you guys come. It's supposed to open the first week of February, but that is going to be called the Forge. And that is essentially everything that I just described to you at Midtown Station, but probably 2 times the footprint. It's going to be even larger, bigger brewery, more restaurants, dancing room, all that stuff. Gentlemen, yeah, exactly. Gentlemen, I don't know if you're bringing your wives and kids with you, but we got plenty of fun activities to do in the county when you're not fishing, or if they got to stay entertained. We have the original tourist attraction in Florida, Silver Spring State Park here. It's actually 10 minutes from downtown. It's a first magnitude spring, 72 degrees temperature year round. But that's where you can see the monkeys, the manatees, obviously alligators, lots of fish. But it's a history-rich area. Walt Disney actually owned the place for about 40 years. And there's about 500 monkeys out there. So that right there is a huge tourist attraction for us. I mean, it's just wild to see monkeys in Florida. Wild monkeys.
Is. Yeah, I love it. I've done that many times. Dustin Hoy is in our chat. He's got a place in Silver Springs. Actually, it's a good time to mention this too. We always mention it every show. Is his logo's up here. Raccoon Creek. Well, we just moved it. Actually, it's there it is. Raccoon Creek Outfitters is the presenting sponsor of this live stream, as it is with all the live streams. And Dustin's shop, Raccoon Creek's in Ohio, here where I am, but he's got a home down there and for winter time in Silver Springs. And man, we stay down there with him, hang out with him and the fam, and float that river. all the time, Silver Springs, and see the monkeys. My wife takes the long lens out there. The kids have a blast. We've done the glass bottom boat tours, as well. So we're actually, Brian, I know we talked a little bit yesterday about this, guy. So here's a little information. I'm trying to get us to possibly have the Bass U brunch at Silver Springs and utilize their room there, their ballroom, have everyone show up there, because then you guys in the family, the people who are coming from out of, the area who want to experience this, will be already right there. So when the brunch is over, you can take a quick glass bottom boat tour, hang out there before you got a little time before you get on the water that day. So we're looking to do that, and that'll be pretty cool if that works out.
Yeah, and we actually, just to piggyback on that, we actually just had our annual tourism meeting there this last Thursday, and we had a great time. We had about 300 people there. We took them all out on the glass bottom boats. Everyone got to see manatees, so they were all ecstatic because it's that time of year.
Yeah.
But the cool thing that kind of blew us away was we hosted a breakfast there, and their breakfast blew us away, man. For 300 people, they knocked it out of the park. So that'd be a pretty cool option if that's something you wanted to do. Their catering department, we were quite impressed by it. So
nice.
And you're literally where the ballroom is, where you'd be eating. You're 100 feet from the magnitude spring.
Yeah,
so
right here.
Right there. Yeah, exactly.
So that's perfect. Well, we hope to do that. And then just so you guys know, another thing I haven't said yet on this live stream is, we did show the website, some of the event details are up, but mostly just the registrations. But as we finalize all this stuff, I think we're going to try to use that Midtown station. We've contacted them for maybe our registration and opening ceremonies, but we do know for sure, Brian, that I talked with Blake from New Canoe earlier, who owns that kayak manufacturer, and they're donating a kayak for this event to raffle off for autism. And we're going to be at the Tuscaloosa Park here, and the Riley Theater, just so you guys kind of get a bird's eye view of where you're going to park. All of your trailers and all the vehicles can go right here in this large parking lot, and there's another parking lot here. And then this is the facility where there's a couple of theaters there at the Riley Arts Center. We're going to utilize one of those, and then our festival will be probably right here behind it. And then we'll have kayak demos here on the lake, one of these lakes or ponds here at the park. So it's a perfect venue. There's a playground for the kids.
There's also a skate park too, right there as well.
Oh, a skate park is right up here. Yeah, it is a skate park. So if you've got older kids that skate or whatever, then they can do that. So like you said, plenty to do for the whole family. And I just appreciate you guys and just believing in this and this whole like crazy thing. We're going to bring all these people here for more than a tournament. It's a festival. It's a fellowship of friends and get together and just making memories. You guys have been awesome to work with. And we are going to find a designated sort of, we'll also list like a couple official lodging partners and designated like campgrounds that people might, want to stay at. But let's stay close to, obviously the home base, Ocala and Marion County. And it makes sense too, because then you're the center of the radius to spread out. You could go to any of these bodies of water from there. But if you're not from the area and you book way far away towards one of them, then you're never driving 2 hours all the way across, the entire radius to fish. So it's smart to book there, especially when you've got check-in and registration on Thursday and the opening ceremonies. And then you're going to have Friday's Bass U Brunch plus the start of the tournament. But Bass U Brunch, our seminar series, most likely right there in Silver Spring at Silver Spring State Park, right there. And then you got the finale, the final day with the awards. 3 days in a row, you're going to be in Ocala. So it makes sense to book right there in that county and close by. But anything else you want to touch on before we let you go, man? You guys are awesome.
And then one last thing, really fun activity. We have the largest zip lining course in Florida. It's over an old limestone quarry. I think it hits like 70 miles an hour, but that is a super, super fun experience. Really cool. Really cool. So that's a fun thing. But Drew, as far as your competitors, if anyone has any questions about Ocala, Marion County, you're more than welcome to give them my email and my phone number. You can personally reach out to me. I can recommend hotels, restaurants, the whole 9 yards. Just know that you have a source of contact here when you're here, and we can't wait to have you here, guys.
Love it, man. Appreciate you. And then maybe we'll have you or Corey or somebody from Ocala Marion at the awards, or at least our opening ceremonies at some point while we're there. Maybe the
absolutely wouldn't miss it, Drew.
just to thank you guys in person. So thanks again. And we're going to keep talking with the best anglers in your state right here on the screen you're here with, and they're going to explain more about the waters and what they think about all these incredible fisheries. So see you, man.
Thanks for your time,
Later.
guys.
So since we're going back to this, I got a question for the Florida guys. So Steve wanted to know how worried he should be about his 12-year-old on the water from gators.
So I mean, there are certain bodies of water people do that they do get pretty comfortable. You don't have to be worried. They're not gonna do anything crazy as long as you don't try to feed them. But the main thing is stay in the kayak. We actually had an event 2 years ago, Sean, our season opener.
I think there's only been one issue in 3 years.
Issue. Yeah. And one of them came and hit his kayak. He fell over. He didn't get bit or anything. He got back in the kayak though. They said he walked on water to get it back into his kayak. But we've been doing it a lot. Timothy Campbell, you can see some videos of him on headwaters. We're not fishing that, but a gator went up and snapped at his paddle. But those are the two instances, me personally, that I've seen. I've never had any issues. But
the probability. I take my 2 little girls out on the water all the time, and I zero worries. So like very rarely have they came up, and it's these bodies of water where they don't see a lot of anglers. Like I'm not going to mention the name of the lake, but didn't have a lot of boat pressure for a while, and so they didn't see any boats, and they would chase your topwater all day long. But that was literally one lake out of in the last year, 30 lakes we've fished together between myself, Chris Bailey. But I very little worries. I think it's fairly low threat. They
seem more scared of you sometimes. Like when I was at Caddo,
for sure.
I had like a big giant one at Caddo just like freak out when he saw me. He was like, "I'm out here."
Yeah. So that's also another big thing too, is they will, like, some bodies of water are super shallow and you'll float over them. And if they freak out, they do send a wake. Like they're trying to get out of your way. But you're going in 3-4 foot of water, and during that time of the year, they're going to be hunkered down there. I don't think they'll be super active, but they're going to try to stay warm. And if you're in that shallow body of water and you go over them, they will roll, and they'll freak you out.
They'll move.
It's been so weird the last couple of years. I think last year we were in Orange Lake around February time frame, and there was already some nesting. There was already some babies out, and normally that doesn't happen until like April, May time frame. So it's been weird the last, I don't know. I just moved back up to North Carolina, but for the 5 years I lived down there, it was always April, May time frame when they started nesting. But last year was just a anomaly. And like if they probably won't be nesting. I've only been chased by one when I got too close to a nest, it's like a false charge. Like if they come after you, they'll come flying at you and dive underneath your kayak. But I ain't never had one try and come after me in 5 years. And we're kind of irresponsible at the boat ramp when we're doing it. We'll be like waist deep in water, loading up kayaks and stuff. Like,
Drew, people in Florida swim. You guys swim in the water. People swim in the lakes all the time. It's not. I wouldn't be concerned about it too much. I have seen some big ones in some creeks when you're coming around the corner flying fast with a torpedo and they don't know you're there. I mean, it looks like a dino. All the the reeds and everything move and everything, all the brush, and they splash in. Like you said, they can just come under you. I have been spooked before. I've been spooked when they move. There's a big wave. If it's a giant one, he's underneath you. But they're afraid of you, like Jake said. They are 100% afraid of you. Sure. They want to get. There's only one thing that kills them. And that's it. Us. So they're definitely way more afraid of you. I wouldn't be freaked out, Steve, or worry about it one bit. And
I would say the Ocala National Forest, though, Buzz. You could probably talk on this. The Ocala National Forest lakes might be a little different in regards to that.
Those are hidden gems.
I was in the zoo industry for 25 years. I used to actually train college kids how to handle alligators and other animals for a long time. And much of what we talked about is true in terms of the time of year. Like I'm never worried about an alligator ever in February. No. I mean, even if you have some occasional, weird weather or something like that. The only time, and again, I've spent 25 years in the zoo and aquarium industry. The only time I'm even remotely concerned is that if I accidentally kind of got close to a female who might be on a nest, that would be it. And so that's usually actually in the summertime. Even during breeding season, the males are interested in the females. They're not interested in us. They don't even really have much territorial. They'll just chase the females around for the most part. So have a healthy respect for any large animal that is, could be as big as your boat. I mean, manatees are probably a bigger concern about flipping you out of your boat or getting close to you than the alligators are, because they're even more curious. At Rodman, I've had them actually come up and nose my boat and smell around and that sort of thing. But so I would not be concerned, especially the time of year at all. So Steve, don't worry. Just, obviously don't feed them. Like Chris said, don't, give them some space and they'll give you some space and get out of there.
But, and also too, with that, when we're talking about the other animal that you have to be concerned of, they have, for folks that aren't used to it in Florida, they're tracked. There's some of them that have these balls that you'll see floating going down in these waters. Don't touch those. Don't get anywhere near those. They will. They're a herd. They go in like packs of like 10 or 15, and they will flip you out of your kayak. But the biggest thing there is at night, in the morning time when you launch, you'll hear them blowing right next to you. So if you don't know what that is, don't freak out. But I would get out of their way because they get scared very easily, and they'll try to think that you're feeding them, and they'll hit your kayak. So
there's a bunch in Salt Springs. If anyone wants to see manatees in that time of year, they come up to Salt Springs right here. It's not eligible water that connects to the St. John's. It's warm, but they're also going to be in the Silver Springs big time that time of year. But I'm just saying, Salt Springs, they always kind of go to the head spring, which you can see them at Silver Springs, but they're going to go all the way to the warmest water,
loaded,
and stack up there. So it's loaded in both those places, Silver and Salt for sure. You can see them at any other spring fed run that some are in bounds in this event. So let's real quick, let's wrap the waters up. Let's touch on the this sort of what is it, like a wild card, I'll call it, the Ocala National Forest lakes. But I do want to say before you talk about it, Buzz, that any lake within this yellow is legal as long as there is a public launch on it. Some of these there is not, like this North Lake, because this is, Dustin knows about this lake real well. Because his house is in this neighborhood over here, and there's no public launch on it. So if you can't get to it publicly, then it's not legal. But we just had to come up with some way to include some of these cool lakes in the Ocala National Forest, and many of them have an actual road going to it, like this one, I believe, a primitive, like launch or something, and other ones aren't that easy. Some of them have better boat ramps, So touch on these lakes and ponds here, and what do you think?
Yeah, well, Florida is basically Swiss cheese with a karst topography. So you see all these like sinkhole ponds, and Ocala National Forest, because it's more difficult to get access, they tend to not have as much pressure. So I will say that a lot of them are very tannic in nature. So if you like fishing black and blue, that's not. I wouldn't say that is the juice or anything. That's pretty commonly well known.
Right.
That is
that's the juice.
Yeah. But and historically, the Ocala National Forest, if you go back and look in the 50s through the 70s, they have huge numbers of double-digit fish that come out of it. So it is a wild card. As well. So if you can get on a lake and you find something really special, it's definitely worth it. But I'd say, historically, I think it's because of access, places like Orange Lake and Rodman and that sort, especially boat access, they get much more press because you just see bigger fish coming, being caught, where some of these other smaller lakes, the locals might know about them or specific holes there. But they're there's not a lot of variation in them. So you'll see Kissimmee grass, you'll see some hydrilla, creeks that run with trees and woods. But I don't mind saying personally, I haven't had as much luck, but I haven't explored them as much as I got a lake that's the third best in the nation, 20 minutes from my house. So honestly, I'm lazy. I'll go to the place where I can catch a bigger fish like that.
Well, I'll talk briefly on this. We know of anglers from the north part of Florida that fish those lakes pretty well, and they do very, very, very well as far as quality fish. Some of the best fish in the state, from what I've seen from a kayak, has been caught in that area. Wouldn't you agree, Sean?
Yeah. Very true statement.
That if you go on Fishing Chaos and it's public knowledge, there's an angler in Florida who catches a ton of really good fish up in that area from a kayak. So they're all very, very good. But the big thing too is the roads getting into those. If you don't have a 4-wheel drive vehicle, be very careful. Be very, very careful.
If it rained a lot.
Yeah, it rained that whole area. They're like shell white roads that go back into a lot of these lakes. They're not paved. So you do be careful, because if you get stuck, some of them do have paved, but it's white top.
Yeah, very sandy.
Yeah, very, very, very sandy roads. Absolutely.
But it's flat.
So
at least it's flat.
Yeah,
it is flat. The only thing is a lot of there's a lot of ATVs riders out there that they rut up the roads a lot. So just don't go speeding down those roads, because the last thing you want is for a deer or a pig to run out in front of you and you run into any of those off the trail there, because it'll be hard to get you back on, especially with not very good cell service in those areas. So just do your research, be smart about it. If you have questions, just reach out to one of us and we can help answer any of those questions that you may have if you plan on fishing any bodies of water there in that region. Like I said, Buzz is fairly close. I live in Tampa, and we have a lot of other guys that are fairly close to that area that fish in all of our clubs. That would be more of love to help out, I'm sure. So if you plan on fishing those, it's a great place to camp too. So
yeah, that's a good point. Moving to the south, you've got Lake Weir, which Brian did mention. It's more of, if you want to fish docks and you want to be, if you're that kind of angler, this one definitely is the one. I think that probably of all the lakes and bounds has the most probably canals and man-made structure. Would you guys agree? I mean, it really does.
Like cranking.
I'll tell you next week, or not next week, or next month, we have in January, our next tournament is there. And I will say that I think the ramps there are paid. So there's an envelope system at that one as well. So I just kind of keep that in mind. But yeah, it's Jacob Wheeler has gone there. They have Wednesday nighters there. He goes there and he trashes all the locals and they get all upset.
Yeah, but you can see there too. It has a sandy bottom all around the lake. That good portion of that lake, which means something in Florida around this time of the year.
That's the hard stuff, right?
Yeah,
it does. It's very sandy, because I've eaten at Gator Joe's quite a bit. One of my favorite places to go.
Yeah,
and it's just all sand there. The kids play in the beach. It's a really good place if you are bringing the kids and the family to go chill. And you sit out here and you're eating underneath this, out over the water. And you can just hang out there and play at the beach. And, that time of year, there's definitely a chance, like you said, the Gators won't be active, because highs typically are in the 60s. If not, you might get lucky with the low 70s, mid 70s, or even an 80. It can happen for sure. But every time I go there in that time of year, it really is like, 40s at night and 60 something during the day. And you pray for a warm front, you know what I'm saying? But either way, it's better than where we're at, and you can still throw top water. Promise you that. So
the big thing there too, attention to wind, the weather and all that. Just really pay attention to the wind in the winter time. Here can get pretty sketchy if you're from a north wind and you're fishing on the south part of that lake there.
Right. Let's touch on. So we'll keep it moving. I'll talk about the the Ocalapalooza River. So keep in mind that Silver Springs is right here, and it flows to the east, and it joins the Ocalapalooza River, basically at River Wayside Park access here. So you can fish legally. You can fish starting, right here at this Wayside Park. I think you can fish down. Is that right, or is it actually once it hits the confluence? Either way, I know you cannot fish at all from here up to Silver Springs.
You'll see signs all along the road, all along the riverway. No fishing.
So the Ocalapalooza is okay, and this flows into Rodman, which you already talked about. It's free flowing. You will see monkeys anywhere in that area that were released. There's two stories. I don't know which one's true, but they were filming Tarzan and they got loose. Another one was like a circus came around and they got loose. I don't know which one it is, but I think it was the filming one, I thought. But
yeah, it was the first one.
The Tarzan, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the Ocalapalooza River. But
Good
I will
fish.
just quickly
Good fishing.
go all the way up to the upstream boundary of the Ocalapalooza. The river is flowing from south to north. This is your boundary right here, this boat ramp for launch boundary. So you still can take out further upstream, which again is this direction. And so technically you're in Lake Griffin at this point, which is part of the Harris chain. So if you did have a motor and you wanted to fish Lake Griffin, you could certainly hit the north side of Lake Griffin. And there's probably some information out there on YouTube, of course, about it. The Elite Series fishes that chain a lot. Bassmaster's been there, Hobie. There's a lot of people that have history, but of course the entire chain's not in play, or it's just what you can get to from that launch. Then moving further to the south here into the back to the right along I-75, which takes you straight up to Ocala, right?
Yep.
You're going to go see this is cool because you got Lake Panasoffkee here, and it's a cool, interesting lake as well. So it's just a straight interstate all the way down. And you guys know much about that one?
Yeah, we just had a tournament there and under incredibly difficult conditions, close to 90 still won. It's probably the best topwater lake in the state, in my opinion. It's unusual. The deeper water is closer around the edge, and out in the middle, there's just a ton of eelgrass.
Yeah, a lot of eelgrass.
Interesting.
Yeah, so if again, different types of grass you don't get to see as often. It's a cool lake. I mean, it's something a little bit different that other lakes. You're not your classic Ocala National Park lake.
Yeah, right. And there's timber too along the side, so there's a lot of there. Yeah. It's nice.
We're checking out. People are gonna have to eliminate lakes, during their scouting and online. Even we only have 4 days they're allowed to practice within 2 weeks of the event. So if you're looking at a calendar, just so everyone knows, that would be February 21st is our first day. So February 7th. From that point on, you can only fish on lakes and rivers that are inbounds 4 days. You got 4 days. So please make note of that, guys. That's on the rules. Of course, we're not going to talk about the rules so much on this live stream, but we'll have another one for that later on. And they're all written on the website. So, but you're going to have to eliminate lakes and rivers is what I'm saying somehow. And that's part of the puzzle and the Kayak Adventure Series is learning, how to eliminate some of these. Maybe it's because of your style or whatever. Maybe you're a river angler, not a lake, or maybe you have a certain style that, and maybe you like fishing man-made structure like Lake Weir, and that helps you easily say, I'm going to focus completely on Lake Weir on my 4 days or 2 days, however many you get. That's just part of the puzzle. And the reason we have so many lakes and bounds is at some point, we want these big festivals, these events to have 500, 1,000 people in it. And there's no reason it can't when you have all this water in play. We also want people to have a chance to find a spot that's to themselves, even though they're in a tournament, so speaking of that, I will say the Withlacoochee River is the other river, and this is the southern launch boundary. Again, it flows north. This is the southern launch boundary here at the what looks like Highway 48 road.
Windhaven, yeah.
Windhaven. So you can fish it all the way up. Anything that's free flowing and connected to it counts. So all these lakes here, all this water here is connected to. I'm just calling this one. It's hard to find a real name for this, but I think it's called Henderson Lake. We're calling it the Henderson Lake chain of lakes, because as you can see, canals connect Henderson Lake to all of this, and it all eventually kind of connects to that river, right? So it's all inbounds. And if you ever have any questions, guys, on water that, is it inbounds for the event? Is it not? You definitely need to, if you're questioning it, you need to contact us, and we will help you, make sure you're not about to fish somewhere that's going to get you disqualified. So
yeah, and that river, a lot of, if anyone wants to look up anything, y'all look up the Withlacoochee and see what fish have come out of there. Don't underestimate that body of water.
Trophy catch, a ton of trophy catches.
Like 13, 14 pounders are coming out of that river there. Yeah,
it's cool. Very cool river. It's listed as one of the top lakes and rivers in the Southeast with this reservoir it dumps into, which you can kind of get to the headwaters of the I think it's called Rousseau.
Yeah,
Lake Rousseau here. So you can see our upstream launch boundary. Again, we put all these at somewhere that's usually about right on the dot, as close as we can get to an hour away, so you guys can get back to the festival and the fun. We don't want people fishing further than an hour, but you could certainly go further, downstream into the headwaters of Russo right here and make it and fish some of that lake too, kind of like Griffin, how it was. But I don't want to gloss over this. I mean, this is certainly a question mark, this Inverness area with all these lakes and canals and all the connected stuff. It's very wild. I mean, that's what this event is about. It's a very wild. I mean, it's just crazy. It's perfect for kayak fishing. Perfect. So all that right here is legal water, all connected to the Withlacoochee, and see, it eventually comes in right here and flows out right into the Withlacoochee and the Henderson Lake. So you guys know anything about that whole weird, crazy system of water over there?
We, at least for the Florida Kayak Bass Trail, we have strayed away from fishing deep into those areas due to cell service issues in that particular area. When it comes to, we range anywhere between 40 to 50 anglers an event. So like we'll open up, boundaries. Sean could talk about it a little bit more, but we don't fish back up into those areas. We're normally like, maybe 3, 4, 5 miles of it off of like major bodies of water, but we go out and fun fish it. And it is a blast. They're fun to kind of get in there. It's just some of them's obstructed. So do your homework when you're out there pre-fishing, because with these hurricanes, a lot of trees and stuff have been blown over, so it could block your paths. But the Henderson Lake never fished that area per se. But where you're at right now, that seems to be like a kind of backwoods where I don't think a lot of people have been, at least for our trail.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, what I was going to say with Panisofsky, we allowed the Withlacoochee River all the way to about your boundaries, very similar to. We opened the Withlacoochee River all the way up to all the way to Rutland and all the way down where your southern boundaries at in the lake of Panisofsky. And there's a creek that runs north out of Panisofsky also.
That's the boat ramp. Yep. Mm-hmm. We tried it. We use like major roads and bridges as mainly our guide. So it gives people the main lake and then a section of river, just so folks can get back. Cause we don't have the luxury of giving an hour for them to get off the water and go there. So we just make them kind of stay local so that we can get done with our ceremony and get them home, because they spend up since 2:00 in the morning.
And
the boat ramp. So,
and we're not saying we don't like what Clermont chain we fished this past weekend. We opened up the whole chain, every canal, every river system in the chain we fished. And it was wide open, but that's a fairly easy one to open up with open up a lot of those rivers and streams and getting everybody back in time for the post-tournament link up at wherever that location's at. That's where we kind of limit it to a point, but the St. Johns River we fished, and we've opened up a fairly large swath of the St. Johns River from Astor all the way down to I forget where's our boundary at, Buzz? You recall
it's DeLand, wasn't it?
DeLand, south of DeLand Bridge is what it is.
DeLand Bridge.
Yeah, so you had all those lakes and rivers and creeks. You had a ton of water to cover. So
and at Rousseau, kind of I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sean.
No, and I was about to say the same thing. The northwest or northeast had fished Rousseau. Santa Fe. I think you guys went to Rousseau last year. So.
Yeah, and it's scheduled again this year. I guess the only thing I would say it looks like it's in the boundaries is the Rainbow River, which is amazing. It's just like the Silver Springs river, and
that's right.
There are some restrictions there. You can't actually take like a plastic water bottle in there and some other things. So definitely do your research on some of those areas. So
the Rainbow is
all of it's great fishing.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's where Doug Hannon filmed his videos. It was in the Rainbow. So it's very well known for some big bass, clear water, but also a lot of recreational traffic too. So
be careful for jet skiers. Yeah, there's a bunch of manatees right there.
Yeah, it looked like either manatees or kayakers. It was hard to tell. It's not cleared up. My internet's kind of going slow here. But man, this has been amazing, guys. I don't know what else I want to touch on other than the one last question. I want to ask you guys, given that all those waters that are in bounds, that's a lot. And given that the anglers have a day and a half, the 5 or 4 hours, on Friday, and knowing what you guys know can come out of there, what do you predict or guess might end up being a winning total? Because I feel like we're definitely gonna hit over 100. Let's just say that. I think we will. Somebody 115.
I think 115. If someone finds them, it'd be very like 115. I mean, we've done it in weekends out there in 2 days. So I would say that time of the year, if they're pre-spawn, they're fat, they're eating right now. They're eating. So hopefully, we'll see. Post-spawn.
115. Wow.
I think a lot's going to depend upon the weather. If we get if cold fronts on top of us, it could be a challenge for everybody. So even if we get crappy weather, it would not surprise me to have 105.
Yeah, right.
I think, and go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just pulling up this. You keep talking. I'm pulling up the screen. We've got people registering already. I don't know where Jake Cook is. I don't know if we changed the link, Jake, but I know I saw you register. Maybe you signed up for a different one. But anyway, we got some people already registering for the event there, and some youth have also requested the register. That takes a little bit longer to get the waiver back, but probably have at least 6, 7 people already signed up. So that's cool.
No, I was going to say, I mean, normally the last week of January is that last bad cold front that comes through. Then February, it starts to normalize out. I don't know. I think it's going to be like 112 or 113. Example last year it was about February timeframe, and we fished. We had a tournament on Saturday, and we went back out on Orange Lake on Sunday, and I caught 100 inches in 10 minutes off of a very isolated stuff with a very simple bait, And I caught the first one just blind casting at a piece of cover that was very. If you weren't paying attention, you wouldn't even stop on it. And then I looked down after about 7 fish, and I look down, I see this big black spot sitting in the water, and I flip my bait out on a spinning rod with like 8-pound test, and I catch I don't know, what do you think? It was 8 or 9 pounder, like a 24 1/4, like 3 feet in front of the kayak. You can do a lot of damage real quick if you find the right stuff they're sitting on. I think Orange Lake or Rodman's going to have the winning fish in it.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
I would say like 112, 113 being conservative.
Yeah.
Probably a little conservative.
I think someone's going to put in the work, honestly, Drew, and they're gonna but it'd be very, very easy. Like, you can catch them quick. Like, we have events that go on, and there's guys that catch 110 inches. Well, he was within 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah. You find them stacked up. Yeah,
literally one area, and him and 3 other people all had around 190 to 100 inches in that same area. So it could happen.
You just
how many bags?
Go ahead.
Yeah, how many bags over 100? Buzz, what do you think? How many bags of this event? If we have, let's say we have 150 people come down here and do this. If we have 150 people, how many bags over 100 inches? How many cross kick century belts am I going to have to buy in order?
No less than 10.
No
less than 10.
Yeah,
no less than 10.
Yeah, it's gonna be a battle.
10% of the field at least could have it.
This is going to cost us some money.
Get
more of those century belts.
With you guys allowing 2 of those big those bodies of water, I mean, there's just giants in them, and someone's going to catch one of them.
I mean, you got Panisovsky. Just name a few off. Panisovsky with Lakuchi River, Orange Lake, and
Rodman.
What do we say? Rodman. And then the Ocala National Forest, it's going to be like 13, 14 bags.
Yeah, it's going to be
Drew, whenever we get off of here, I'm going to send you a screenshot of what was caught in the Ocala National Forest, and your jaw is going to drop to the ground.
Can't be sharing.
Why can't you send it now? Why can't we share it with everybody else? Like,
I'm not going to do that to that particular. I don't even know if this individual signs up.
Oh, I see what you're saying. It reveals.
Yeah.
It reveals something for somebody.
Yeah, but I'll just put it this way. I think we're around 20 now, over 25 inches this year.
Yeah. That's insane. So the catch board, you might want to get a 30-inch board just in case.
No, absolutely. Like, and I'm not kidding about that, but like, there's really good fish in these bodies of water, and there's a lot of, and that can be anybody's. That doesn't mean you're from Florida. That can be if you're from Tennessee, wherever you coming from, and you're fishing this, and you do your research, and you just go in and spend some time on a body of water. It's Florida. It's not very hard unless you're going and fishing 30 foot of water. It's 6 foot to 8 foot, pretty much. And grass. So you ain't got to do too much. Live scope can help. Obviously, there's anglers out here that have it, but out there, it's a visual. You find it, you throw there, and you can that cast on net alone will put in a 12, 13 pounder easily.
I would encourage, especially if you're coming from out of town, having fished Florida a lot, and this will help for Ocala tourism too. Come down early, or just make sure you spend your 4 days of pre-fishing or whatever is really done well, because I think the biggest challenge of fishing in Florida, maybe the fickleness, is everything looks good, like everything. So you have to spend a little time here to start understanding those small things, like what Sean was talking about. Like, you wouldn't recognize it normally, but if you're in the right place and you spend a little time on it, you can do very well here.
Yeah, and in 4 days, a lot of people are obviously going to take off the whole week, so they might say, "Man, 4 days. I wish you'd open that up to more." But remember, we want to have that there so that anybody that's a PKA that just has all the time in the world, they're 18 years old, living in their van, whatever. They're not just winning every tournament. We leave it open for unlimited practice or 7 or 8 days, because by the time you add the 7 days of practice plus the 2 days of the tournament, that's 9 days of fishing in a row, and you're whipped by that point. And I think that's going to not appeal to so many anglers. If you have to do that to win, then they're going to be out. A lot of people are me. They got a family, kids, job. Like, they can't but 4 days is a nice balance. If you can only get 2 or 3 or whatever, then the next guy only gets 1 or 2, maybe, a day and a half extra than you. So, because by the time you do fish 4 plus the event Friday and Saturday, no pre-fishing allowed during that Friday as well, because it starts Friday from 3 to 7. So you're, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday. That's still, full 6 days of fishing, and that you're going to be worn out. So that's kind of why we have that, and it kind of levels it. So it's nice. All right, final thing now. The spawn. They spawn from just November, December, all the way through like April. To Florida-ish. What do you guys think? Is that just seems to be like, if we get the warming trend, it could go off and it could be insane, or what?
I don't know. The water temp right now in Orange Lake is 58. It started off 58 Sunday morning, and it was up to 61 by the afternoon. So I would say it's Central Florida or South Florida, like headwaters. They're already on beds. Some fish are being seen on beds. It happens earlier down there than it does in Buzz's neck of the woods. So I think February is about the time you'll see them spawning. They'll be on all three phases.
Yeah.
At that point.
Could get one that way, or at least a part of the 5 fish.
Oh, at Panisovki, they got big females. I caught one a couple of weeks ago that's already sniffing around. Like, she's full. She's already got, I wouldn't say she's full of roe or anything like that, but she's definitely been eating well and is sniffing around at some of these spots that, traditionally are good spawning spots. So I would not be surprised if we had already had, an initial spawn. Prior to that. In Orange Lake, they had a spawn 2 years ago, like in late November. I mean, it was really strange. Kind of probably that same situation, what we talked about with the alligator, So don't be surprised. You could, I think Sean's exactly right. We will find them in all 3 stages, and it'll be awesome.
And if you guys, for folks, you can look in the river too. You see a lot of the Bassmaster elites in there fishing some of those areas last year on the St. Johns River off of beds. So
John Cox, yeah, that's awesome. Well, you guys have been great. Can't wait to see how your entire year goes and get more people. Maybe some new people are part of this thing, and then they find a home, fishing with you guys because they live close enough. After this event, that's the idea. That's the goal. Let's get you guys, at some point, love to have you just thank you out in person, shake your hand, and put you up on the stage, or at least at the opening ceremonies or the Bash You brunch or whatever you guys, whatever works. But just appreciate your time and walking us through all those waters. I think we've answered a lot of important questions from people and gave it a good preview. So any last things you guys can think of that we missed or comments?
No, if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, or want to reach out and ask about anything in regards to the Florida Kayak Bass Trail or the Bass Nation, just reach out to us. We'd love to. We're all about building the community of kayak bass fishing in the state of Florida. Right there, just getting out on the water and fishing and having fun in the fellowship is really what I know our club and what Buzz and his organization up there are all about. Right? That's all. At the end of the day. Sorry, my light's going off.
You're good. Yeah.
I'm in my work office, but at the end of the day, we just want folks to come out there, have fun, be safe, and on a low and on like pretty much no stress. Just go out there, have fun. And if you need anything though, or you're interested, just reach out to us. We'd love to sit down and have a conversation with you.
Yeah, let's go fishing together.
Yeah,
coming down. Might as well go fishing with Sean, Chris, or me.
Yeah.
Yep, might as well.
If you want to catch big fish, go with Buzz. I'll put you on about 150, 17, 18 inches, but that's about it.
That's funny.
So
I might stick around afterwards. We'll see with the family and just to have some relaxing time there, some fun fishing, and might have them fly down, the kids and my wife. But I will say this, though, that without a doubt, I'd love to get Dwayne from Tourney X back on here, or I'll tell him later. I'll text him. Go check the site traffic for every one of your events, you guys' events, because it's the past traffic. The past events are about to get a lot of clicks when people are researching where to fish and, you know, for this event, because a lot of those lakes you guys have already fished and been there. So there's some history and some information. It's not a secret. So I'm not saying anything that people aren't already going to do, but it'll be funny to see the traffic of those past events all of a sudden get all these clicks. So that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
so,
we both have a bunch of anglers that do YouTube and stuff here for the Florida Kayak Bass Trail and Bass Nation. If you guys want to do homework but you can't fly down, go on YouTube and search those. I'm not going to throw their socials out there without their permission, but there's a ton of them out there that participate and they do a lot of these lakes that we're fishing and that are inbounds are on our annual schedule. So we fish them throughout the year. So yeah, Blake Johnson actually just won our Claremont event here this past weekend. So his first win with the trail. So super nice guy.
Good job, Blake. Good job, man. Thanks for tuning in. And then we'll catch you guys later. We thank you again, and we'll probably have the week before the event or a couple weeks before. We might even touch on bring you guys back in for a quick update on the weather, just a short visit on the show. Whoever can make it on the latest So all right, guys. We'll catch you later. Thanks for joining.
All right, awesome. Appreciate it. Thanks for having us.
Thanks, guys, for everything.
Right, see ya. All right. So, and real quick, I will answer Grantville's question before we leave. He wants to be successful angler in those waters. Should he get the Bonafide XTR 130? Man, that's such a loaded question. We don't have time to really tackle it, but I will just say this: that's a great kayak. It's a new one from Bonafide. It's going to be awesome. You can stand the sight fishing very easily. Like we talked about,
it's really
new being so stable. It's customized. It's a cool boat for sure. So it's worth getting, but has more to do with your style. I would never want that because I want a small one that I can, don't need a boat ramp to launch. I like these small rivers and creeks and places where that's just going to be too big for. So really depends on your style of fishing, if that's the right boat for you, but it's definitely a good one if you want a bigger boat. So, all right. That was the official Ocalapalooza live stream. And man, we had so many bodies of water in bounds on that one. Obviously, it took us a while to kind of get through them all. But next week, not next week, we won't have an official show for Paris Reel Fest until January 5th, I believe it was Wednesday, because our lives are on Wednesdays, noon Eastern, so people can watch or be a part of it during their lunch hour. And then, of course, now we're on lunch hour and almost ending on that central time zone. So be on the lookout for that January 5th, I believe. I could be saying it wrong, but is a Wednesday, because the next two Wednesdays are, believe it or not, we're sitting on, what is it? It's like Christmas. I mean, we're Christmas is a week from today, dude. And then
it sucks.
That doesn't make any sense. How is that possible? And then New Year's is the next Wednesday. So we'll skip those two lives. You guys have a great Christmas season. I wish everyone the best. And we'll be ready, and all the event details and information will get loaded on the sites here soon as it comes available, but especially the working on the Paris Reel Fest and Ocalapalooza. That way you guys can get all the information, like where you're going to camp, where's our official campground or our official, cabins or lodge that we want to try to get people to kind of, stay together. Like we talked about on the Susquehanna event that we just announced, that the fairgrounds and the campground. So where's the Bash U brunch going to be? Who are the speakers? All that kind of just happens later, but at least the eligible water, the dates, the locations, that's all there now. The registration links are up if you want to go on Tourney X and find them and get even super early, but the registrations will get linked by the time of the official preview show for that event. So on February 5th, we'll be trying to drum up some entrants for the Paris Reel Fest. So cool. Thanks, Jake, handling everything behind the scenes there. And I'm excited. That was cool to hear all that.
Yeah. It's a lot to digest.
Oh yeah, it's a lot for sure. A lot to digest. So I can't wait to just be down in the warm weather and, skip winter a little bit here and see you guys at Ocalapalooza. It's not going to be long. It's going to happen fast. This whole season is going to fly right by. So anyway, yeah, I think that's it. We'll wrap it up now, and you guys just continue to get on there and register. The first 50 we'll get that $100 gift bag from our sponsors. So yeah, I think that's it. Thanks, guys.
Yep.
Check you on the next one. Have a great Christmas, everyone.